Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I am here to review Monkey Man. Directed, first directorial debut, if I'm correct, of Dev Patel. If you don't know who Dev Patel is, you probably would know him from Slumdog Millionaire fame, and he was just in this A24 movie called The Green Knight, which I never watched The Green Knight, but I heard it's fucking weird. He's kind of an up-and-coming actor. Like, I say up-and-coming, he was in Slumdog Millionaire, and that movie came out in like 2008, but relatively, he's an upcoming actor starting to get some stuff. Honestly, he's the type of actor who, he's the type of actor, what's the word I'm looking for, who, if he got like the Black Panther treatment, if he got a role like a big franchise role, it would really launch him. He's like, that's why I say he's an up and coming actor, because he's in that same spot right now in Hollywood that I'd say Chadwick Boseman was in for quite some time, where he was a face you recognized and he was doing good work in movies and whatnot, but like he just hadn't had that breakout film yet. I'd probably say that's Dev Patel? I think it's Dev Patel. Either way, this is a directorial debut, and Monkey Man is about a character named Kid. I don't know if that was his actual name or not. I can't remember completely. I saw the movie on Saturday. I should have fucking reviewed it immediately, but I digress. So it follows this character named Kid. Now, Kid is in this small little. He's from this small village in India, and I never know how big that city that he's in, but either way, he's from this small village in India, and Kid is traumatized. He's traumatized from events that happened when he was a kid, and he spends his life fighting in this underground, dirty, dingy, kind of UFC, kind of professional wrestling type environment, like bare knuckle brawl, but like, I guess stage bare knuckle brawl, for lack of a better term. And he's spending the time doing this, just getting by in life. But deep down, he has this simmering rage, because the reason he has this trauma from his childhood, the reason that he's in this spot, getting the shit kicked out of him in these underground fights, is because a long time ago, when he was a boy, this general, this asshole general came through his village, killed everyone, including his mother. Now, you think that general just killed his mom. No, that general tried to rape his mom, failed, and then killed her and then burned her alive. Like, it was hard fucking core. So, this movie has been touted, and now, the rage is built up to the point where he's like, I have to go and get my vengeance, and that's what he's out to do, is get vengeance not only on the general who executed it, but the guy who gave him orders. Now, who gave him the orders in the first place. Now, Monkey Man is a weird movie, because it's kind of in the same vein as a John Wick movie, in a sense. It's like a spiritual, whereas John Wick is more glitz and glam, and the more high, spiritual aspect is kind of like dropped in the back burner on having great action sequences and looking great. This one really plays up the environment of India and Indian mythology. The name Monkey Man comes from this character, this mythical character in Indian mythology. I don't think it's called Monkey Man. It's like Mun Man. I don't know if I would correctly pronounce what it's actually called, but I think it's just translated as Monkey Man. If I'm wrong, put something in the comment section below. But either way, because as the character is evolving over the course of the movie, it's paralleled with the stories he was told as a child about this Monkey Man character and the trials that this Monkey Man character went from. Which, by the way, is very eerily similar to to the Monkey King in Chinese mythology. The Monkey King in Chinese mythology, just a little bit of some parallels with the Monkey King in Chinese mythology. But either way, so while he's going through his journey, which is him, accepting himself or getting through his grief and whatnot, they are paralleling it with this journey of this Monkey King. Like I said, there's a lot of spiritual, religious, psychedelic aspects, like almost like a Far Cry 3 type deal going on in this movie. The movie's about an hour and 50 minutes, so not that long of a movie. It kind of flies by, but it is a weird movie. Like, if you're just thinking you're gonna just see a straight up action movie, understand, it ain't that. It is, and it isn't. Like, there's more to this movie than you're expecting. Like, I came in this new movie expecting a John Wick movie that takes place in India. Like a John Wick, like that type of movie, which it really isn't that type of movie until the very end. And the very end, because the whole movie is building up to this action sequence. And honestly, looking back, you can feel it when you're watching the movie. It's building up to this final action sequence, which is just completely like a John Wick movie. But before that, I think the main protagonist, Kid, is very relatable. You understand his rage, you understand why he's so angry, you understand why he wants his vengeance. You know, honestly, I thought he would be more angry, but I digress. They have, I mean, the villains they're villains, you know. They're doing villain shit. You know, the main bad guy is a corrupt politician / spiritual guy using religion, which is why I'm always dubious, using religion to manipulate politics and to gain power and to basically enslave people under the guise of religion. So the main bad guy is this religious asshole, manipulative asshole, and his lieutenant is this general who the guy who actually murdered his mom and whatnot and burned down his village. And, you know, he finds allies along the way. Now, I will say you one thing. First of all, let's just talk about the positives. The movie is shot beautifully. It's directed beautifully. It's a very unique soundtrack. It's very frantic. It's very frantic, but when it gets to the action, it does steady up. The action is great. Action is well directed and executed to perfection. I love the action in this movie. It's top-notch action shit. Now, I will say this. Still in the positives. I think that the cast did a pretty good job, particularly the lead. But this is where I kind of get, like, some things just, like, kind of happen. Like, for instance, at a certain point, you know, he fucks up because he tries to kill the guy at the beginning. Spoiler alert, he fucks up and doesn't pull it off. And he's on the run, he takes a bullet. And, you know, they've done this a billion times in movies. I have seen this in a billion fucking movies. The good guy gets clipped, falls into the water. Bad guy's like, oh, he must be dead. We hit him, he's in the water, so they just stop searching for him, or they still search for him, but they don't find him. The good guy gets saved by some good Samaritans and nursed back to health. Like, you've seen that beat in a billion movies, and it happens in this one too. But the thing is, turns out these people who saved him were like former fucking warriors. So when the final fight goes down, he's got these badass, like, you know, I don't even know what to call. I don't know what to call them. They believe in being a man and a woman. Like, that's their whole. Like, they believe in both the destruction of man and the life of women. So they like these guys represent both, and they got them outcast because they're like, well, because society said they're freaks. At least that's what the assumption is. But it turns out they're not just men, woman, you know, outcasts. They're men, women, outcast warriors who are like, I'm like, what the fuck? What? So some of that, so like that beat caught me off guard hard. I was like, what? Okay. I mean, it was weird. There's a lot of weird stuff in this movie. But like, I can't tell if it's weird because I just don't get it or if it's just weird. But there's a lot of weird stuff in this movie. So there's a lot of things like that in the movie. But besides that stuff, the action is awesome. The action is awesome. You really get behind the main protagonist. It's a classic revenge story. Really, when you cut it right down to the center, it's about a man seeking vengeance for past dues. And he gets his vengeance. Like, you know, so, you know, I'm a lover of revenge stories. Like, I don't know if it's the Scorpio in me, but I love me a revenge story. Hell, right now on Audible, I am listening to a book that involves someone getting revenge. Some of my favorite movies are Kill Bill and John Wick, okay? I love me a revenge story. Love it. Hell, there's a movie called The Gift. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. About a guy, and a bad guy in it gets revenge on someone who bullied him a long time ago, like brutally bullied him. And I love me some revenge stories, man. I do. I love me revenge stories. So, just up top, I'm already gonna like this movie, and I do. And he gets his vengeance, and it is righteous. Not like, and any complaints I have about this movie, by the time this whole movie wraps up, I'm like, hey, I had a great time with this shit, man. I would give Monkey Man an 8 out of 10. It's a fun action movie. It's a little on the artsy side, so if you're thinking you're going to go in and just see John Wick or just a straightforward action movie, it may not be completely that. There's some subtitles every once in a while. They don't just completely, and not everyone's just speaking in English all the time, though they do for the most part. And once it gets going, it gets going. You have to turn your brain off for certain things, but once it gets going, it gets going. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.